Today, the UK Chancellor Jeremy Hunt unveiled the 2023 spring budget. There's been much talk that this budget will be targeting for a growth economy, and today it was unveiled. The back to work budget he claims will stimulate economic growth. The government's headline announcement today include a major expansion of free childcare, keeping the energy price cap, and a pension and benefits overhaul. Conservatives hope the Chancellor's spring budget will smooth the path to employment, in particular targeting over 50s, long-term sick and benefit claimants. And thousands of striking workers calling for better paying conditions also form the backdrop for today's announcement, as the government faces pressure to ease the cost of living crisis and to reduce the rising inflation and energy bills. Here are the top takeaway headlines we can get from today's budget. And the first one is the energy price cap stays the same. The energy price cap guarantee will be extended for a further 3 months from April to June 2023 at its current level, capping the average annual household bills at £2,500. It was confirmed that the planned hike of £500 in average energy bills, which was due to come into force next month, won't be going ahead. The Treasury has come under increasing pressure in recent weeks to cancel the rise, which was set to come into force on the 1st of April 2023. It was a move that would have seen bills increase for the average household, going up to £3,000, as it was previously announced. But today it was confirmed it will instead be capped at £2,500. However, consumers still face having to find an extra £67 a month to pay their energy bills from April, when the government's separate energy bill support scheme, which has seen households receive 6 monthly payments of £66 or £67 direct to their energy accounts, as that comes to an end. The government has also pledged to end the extra costs shouldered by households on prepayment meters, saying they should pay no more than those paying by direct debits. The Chancellor has abolished the lifetime allowance limit on pensions, going further than what was initially expected. I think the hope here is to entice people out of choosing early retirement by ending limits on private pension pots. The lifetime limit means until 2026, savers must begin paying additional tax after their pension savings hit 1.07 million. Jeremy Hunt had initially been expecting to lift the allowance ceiling to 1.8 million, but went further, abolishing it altogether. He also confirmed an increase in the annual amount workers can pay into their pension pots without incurring a penalty, from the current limit of £40,000 to a new threshold of £60,000. The Chancellor also announced a new apprenticeship targeted at over 50s who want to return to work, called returnships. These apprenticeships will operate alongside skill boot camps and sector-based work academies. Now, this is another major announcement. The government will expand 30 hours of funded childcare to begin from the time maternity care ends, when a baby reaches 9 months of age. The rising cost of childcare has been considered to be a deterrent for some parents to go back to work or full-time work. The Chancellor acknowledged the career-ending pressure childcare expenses can be, and he pledged to tackle one of the most expensive systems in the world. This change means the free childcare will cover 1 and 2-year-olds, as well as 3 and 4-year-olds in eligible households, where all adults are working at least 16 hours a week. It was stated that the 30 hours offer will now start from the moment maternity or paternity leave ends, and will be introduced in stages to ensure there is enough supply in the childcare market to meet the demand. Working parents of 2-year-olds will be able to access 15 hours of funded care from April 2024, and that 15 hours will be extended to all children from 9 months up from September 2024. From September 2025, every single working parent of under 5s will have access to 30 hours free childcare per week. It was also confirmed from September 2025, every single working parent of under 5s will have access to 30 hours free childcare per week. The government has been facing building pressure to tackle childcare costs, which have been so high, campaigners have said that parents were forced to leave their jobs. And in responding to concerns the nursery sector will struggle to meet the increased demand, Jeremy Hunt said the government will increase funding paid to nurseries providing funded childcare. Nurseries offering funded places will get £204 million from September, rising to £288 million next year, which the Chancellor said was a 30% average increase. It was also announced that parents on universal credit who are moving into work or wanting to increase their hours will have their childcare costs paid for upfront. The government will increase the maximum they can claim to £951 for one child and £1,630 for 2 children, which the Chancellor has said was an increase of almost 50%. Today, the Chancellor announced 12 new investment zones, which he labelled as 12 potential Canary Wharfs, suggesting they could compare to London's key financial centre. He named 9 areas in England the government had identified as having the investment centre potential, and these included the West Midlands, Greater Manchester, the North East, South Yorkshire, West Yorkshire, East Midlands, Teesside and Liverpool. It was also said there will be at least one investment centre in each of Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. The next one is no fuel duty increase. The Chancellor plans to spend £6 billion on maintaining the 5p fuel duty cut. Jeremy Hunt said, "Because inflation remains high, I've decided now is not the right time to uprate fuel duty with inflation or increase the duty." It was said that there would be a further 12 months of maintaining the 5p cut and to freeze fuel duty. That would save the average driver £100 next year and almost £200 since the 5p cut was introduced. The government had faced pressure to help motorists and heavy vehicle industries avoid paying more to get behind the wheel. However, environmental campaigners wanted the government to go ahead with the uplift to drive down demand for fossil fuels and meet the net zero targets. The Chancellor launched a new voluntary scheme he said would help disabled people search for work without the fear of losing access to benefits. Jeremy Hunt said the scheme, called Universal Support, will provide up to £4,000 for people living with disabilities every year to help them find appropriate jobs, and is expecting the scheme to be taken up by around 50,000 people. The Chancellor confirmed the work capability assessment will be abolished, and the government will begin separating benefit entitlement from an individual's ability to work. A series of levelling up and local transport-related funding pots was announced. The government plans to invest more than £200 million in local regeneration projects across England, and £400 million for new levelling up partnerships in numerous areas. He also announced a second round of city-region sustainable transport settlements, allocating £8.8 billion over the next 5-year funding period. The Chancellor also said the £500 million already allocated for local authorities to tackle potholes would be increased by a further £200 million next year. Now, the key standout headlines were the energy price cap, pensions, and the major expansion of free childcare. This was a quick overview, but stay tuned for a more in-depth analysis covering everything from today's budget. Thanks for watching.